Okay, everybody, welcome back to Gaga's Kitchen, Quarantine Edition. So today we will be making, I took some people's ideas on what they wanted to see me make. So we are making, first up, Bolognese. So, and actually I just realized that this is probably pretty fitting considering everything that is going on in Italy. So what better way to what better way to honor them than to make some spaghetti bolognese. So first up, I'm gonna go over all of the ingredients that we need for this. So, and actually I'm gonna be making my mom's recipe. So she makes actually the best bolognese I've ever had. And her mom makes the best bolognese that I've also ever had. They're both equally good. And so I actually have never made bolognese, so I decided it's probably about time that I try it. So my mom sent me the recipe, and it's actually a lot easier than I was expecting. So it hardly requires any ingredients at all, actually. So to start, this is what you need to make it. So first off, we're gonna do one onion. So I just do one yellow onion. And then the recipe calls for, she said, one skinny carrot. But right now the grocery stores are a little bit so instead, there were no carrots there actually, except for these little
baby carrots.
So we're gonna do one little bag of carrots, because that's probably about the same amount, I would say. So we're gonna do that. And then the next big ingredient is I have ground beef, which is very out of my comfort zone because I probably have not cooked with meat in like over 2 years. So, and originally when I decided to make this recipe, I was thinking maybe I would do like a vegetarian or vegan version, but I decided to just go all in, and Gaga's Kitchen is all about getting out of our comfort zone, you know, so I'm going all in with the meat, and I figure that during this time when these corona times, that we probably could all use a little meat to make us stronger. So we're gonna do that. And my mom, her recipe said that you could either do a pound of ground beef, pork, or veal, or you can do like a combination. She said pork is actually the best, but I was extremely overwhelmed in the meat section at the grocery store, so I kind of just like grabbed the first thing that I saw that looked okay. So ground beef it is. So we're doing that. Then you also need garlic, 2 cloves, but I already had this, like, what is it called? The stir-in paste. I already had it. So fresh garlic cloves are probably better, but honestly, I hate when I chop garlic and then my hands smell like garlic for days. So this is just an easier way. I think 1 teaspoon equals 1 clove, so we'll do 2 cloves of this. You also need Italian spice, so we'll do, I think, 1 tablespoon of this. Next will be the tomato sauce. So I just got this marinara. We could probably do like, you could probably do like a tomato basil or some other kind of tomato sauce, but this is what I got, and I know I really like this brand, so it's very Italian. And then salt and pepper, obviously you always need that. And then for the noodles, we're doing spaghetti. You could do any kind of noodle that you wanted, but spaghetti is honestly my favorite kind of noodle there is, and especially when it comes to Bolognese, I think it's the best kind of noodle. So there we go. All right, so next we're gonna start cooking. Okay, so here we are in my little New York City apartment, and the first thing that we're gonna need is a cutting board, because we are going to be chopping up the onion and the carrots. So we're gonna do that first. We got onion and we've got carrots. Okay, so anybody who knows me knows that when you're chopping onions, you need two things. Well, three really. You need the onion, you need a really sharp knife, and then you need
sunglasses.
Because otherwise, it's actually a really good hack because it prevents all the onion juices from getting in your eyes. And well, you can really use anything like eyeglasses, sunglasses. My mom wears swimming goggles a lot. She's actually the one who I learned this little hack from, but it's really, it's a good little thing. So we got everything we need here, and we're just gonna chop up the one onion super finely. Whew. Even with the glasses. My eyes are burning already. This is a strong onion. So yeah, we're just chopping it up into little pieces. And that's gonna get the flavors started. I'm just gonna throw these away. And I completely forgot to mention before that this episode is dedicated to Alex Fitzpatrick, because it was her idea to do the Bolognese. So thanks, Alex. I love you. And Alex is actually my little sister. Oh my goodness. Is my little sister's best friend. So she's more like a little sister to me. But I just love that girl so much, and I miss her. And she's quarantined all the way across the country in California, but she is
a badass bitch.
And is actually in culinary school. So her Bolognese probably tops mine, but or it definitely does. But I'm excited to make this, and then she'll get to see, you know, we can compare recipes, and then next time I'm with her, maybe we'll have a Bolognese cook-off next time I'm in California. So there's that. So all right, we have pretty much, the lighting's kind of bad, but we have a whole onion chopped up here. So I'm just gonna put that aside. Alrighty. And next comes the carrots. So now I'm actually washing my hands really well because, well, you have to wash your hands before you start cooking, obviously, and especially during times like these. But after you're done cutting the onion, you always want to wash your hands, because that way there's no onion juices that are going to make you cry on there. So we're washing our hands really good, and then making sure they're dry. And actually, a good idea is to wash off the knife as well. Anything you can do to get the onion juices out of the air, basically. So we're gonna rinse this off also. Trust me, trust me that it's a good idea to do this. All right, so now we're ready to chop the carrots. Okay, carrot time. So I figured this was probably the equivalent to about one skinny carrot. So, or it might be a little bit more, but I figure, can't hurt to add a little bit more. And also basically the recipe also, you could do basically like double the amount depending on how many people you're feeding. So I did just 1 pound, but if you're gonna do 2 pounds of meat, you would do 2 carrots and 2 onions and 4 cloves of garlic and so on. You basically just double the whole recipe. So I'm doing the smaller version because I only have me and my roommate and our other roommate this week to feed. So I don't think it's necessary to do double. So yeah, you can't see, I'm just cutting up the carrots into little pieces, little like bite-sized pieces, and they're gonna cook down. So it's a good way to kind of sneak in your veggies, especially for people who don't like to eat vegetables a lot. A lot of people don't even realize that most Bologneses have carrots in them, or at least my mom's does. That's the way I've always eaten it. So it's a good way to sneak in your veggies, especially for people who only like meat and cheese and bread, you know. So the smaller the piece, I guess, the better, but the carrots are already little, so I'm just cutting up little pieces of them. So I'm just gonna cut all these up, and then will be time to cook. I still don't know how to flip the camera when in between talking. So yeah, there's different kinds of oil. So usually like a recipe, if it calls for olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil and whatever, like there's a million different kinds of oil. You don't need to go out and buy all of these different kinds of oil because usually they're pretty expensive. So what I have from like a while ago is avocado oil. So that's what we're using. Oil is oil, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what I say. So oil is oil. All right, so now we are gonna turn on the stove, and it wouldn't be Gaga's kitchen if it didn't take a few tries to turn it on. All right, give it a second. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put it on like medium high, so like number 4. And we're gonna pour some oil in here. I'd say that's enough, basically just enough to coat the pan. So we're gonna drizzle it around, and then, this is kind of difficult to do. I'm not used to doing this without my trusty camera guy. But we are going to pour the onion and the carrot into the pan, and then we're going to cook it down. I don't know, I want to say like 10 minutes or so, basically just till everything is soft. So everything is tender. So I'm going to be careful. Oh, I already have stuff falling on the floor. Be careful to not miss the pan. And then we're just gonna saute this until everything is cooked down. Okay, so the recipe actually says we're gonna cook it until it's soft and the onion is a little bit browned. So that's what we're doing. So I'm just gonna not mess with it too much, but just get everything coated in the oil so that it cooks down correctly and everything's mixed together. And then we'll just let it sit and, you know, check on it every like minute or so, give it a nice turn. Cooking in the kitchen. Okay, so you can already see the colors are changing a little bit. So I'd say just probably like another minute or so and it will be good. And once these are done cooking, we are going to transfer it to this plate, which normally I guess you would put it in a bowl, but I don't really have any bowls here other than like soup or cereal bowls. So we're going to transfer it to this plate, and then we're going to come back and cook the meat. This is what we're talking about when we say we want it a little brown. See how it's like browning a little bit, the onions are? So this shows that it's just about ready and it smells delicious. You don't want it to cook too brown where it's burnt, which I sometimes tend to do that with onions. So I'm going to go ahead actually and turn up the heat now. We're going to be cooking this again. And sorry, that's really loud. So yeah, we're going to transfer this to this plate. All right, now we've got the vegetables and we are transferring them to the plate. And I just realized I turned off the heat, but I shouldn't have because we're gonna go straight to cooking the beef. So, turning this back on, back on, back on, back on the heat. And now is time for the
beef.
Oh, it looks like this has, make sure this is recording. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it has like a little thing I can pull it. So I was mostly just nervous to cook this just because I literally have not cooked like with raw meat in years. And I used to do it all the time. And it's not that I don't eat it now, but it just like, I don't know. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. And I know that if I'm willing to eat something, I should probably be willing to also cook it, and it's probably better off that way. So, gonna wash my hands right away, just in case. And now I am going to, I might need a different spatula. I'm gonna take this heavy duty metal spatula and basically we are going to like break it up into small pieces, and we're just going to bite it up into little tiny pieces and then make sure that it's cooked all the way through so that it's browned all the way through. So this really isn't so bad. I think the most nerve-wracking part was just buying it in the grocery store. Like, I don't know, I just hadn't been in that aisle in so long that I just felt like I didn't belong. And like, I just felt like I was, I don't know, doing something I shouldn't. Like I was like entering like a secret club that I'm not invited to. Yeah, so I like literally just observed from far away, and then I like picked it out from far away which one I was going to get, and then I just went and grabbed it and I did it, and I just felt I don't know why, but I just did. So I'm actually going to turn up the heat just a little bit now also because I want to make sure it gets cooked all the way, and there's a lot in here. So we're just going to do that, and I'm probably going to add a little salt and pepper just to get the flavors going. So I will check back in a minute. Okay, so it's looking like it's starting to brown all the way through. It really doesn't take long to cook. So, but you do want to make sure that it is browned completely through. But also you want to, this isn't something that you just want to let sit because the meat kind of like chunks together as it's cooking. So you want to just make sure that you're consistently breaking it up into little pieces, because you don't want anything to be too chunky, I guess. So that's what we're doing. So no pink, we don't want to have any pink at all in this. We want it to be cooked all the way through. And once it is browned all the way through, I'll probably lower it back down to like medium or medium-high heat. But for now, I have it on high. Honestly, my arm is already getting a little bit of a workout doing this. Yeah. So definitely try to use like a metal spatula when you're doing this because it's a lot easier to break everything up. And this looks like it's about ready because we don't want it to burn again. I tend to like overcook my food sometimes, so we don't want to do that. So I'd say this is good. We're going to turn it off now. I'm removing it from the heat, And the next step actually is to
drain the meat juice.
but actually, like, there really isn't that much because I got the 93% lean beef, so there isn't that much fat. So one thing that I do know that you're not supposed to do is you're not supposed to pour like fat down the drain because it gets clogged up. It's not good.
So I'm just gonna pour it into this little bowl, and then I guess I will pour it in the trash when I'm done. I really don't know. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
So we'll do that. Let me see. Let me set this down here so you guys can see what I'm gonna do here. There really isn't much. Just like the little liquid. But try not to like let everything. Oh, I already lost a little piece. This is, oh, all right. Well, that one's done for good. So now I'm just gonna actually turn the heat back on to the stove, and we are going to add back the rest of the ingredients. So here we go, and I got the stove on the first try that time, so already killing it. So I know the carrots go back in. So we're gonna combine all of that together. And I put this back, the heat back to like medium-high heat. So combine that and then combine the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so next we're gonna add the garlic. We're gonna add, well, before I do that, actually, I'm gonna like mix this all together. And I might actually, just while I'm like measuring, lower it just a little bit to like medium, not medium-high. So I'm mixing this all together. And then I'm gonna add in the garlic, 2 teaspoons or 2 cloves. So put all right. Ooh, sorry. So garlic goes back in the fridge. And we are going to combine this. And like I said, the original recipe calls for like garlic cloves, but I already had that, and I already had the garlic paste. And the thing is also, like, I don't cook with garlic that often, so when you buy the cloves, I feel like they always just go bad really easily. But still make sure that you're checking the expiration date on the garlic if you do have the paste, which I already did, and it was good, so we're good there. Next, we're gonna add the Italian seasoning, and we're gonna put 1 tablespoon of that. And I actually haven't used this before, so I have to take the lid off. 1 tablespoon. And then we're gonna do some salt and pepper, just to taste. Did about like 15 turns. And then salt, did about like 7 turns. And then we're gonna combine this, and last but not least, we're gonna add in the tomato sauce. And the recipe calls for 1 can. I have a jar, so I'm assuming that might be like more than what would be in a can, but it didn't specify like what size. So
This is really smelling good.
the Italian seasoning is like kicking it up another level. We'll see. So we're gonna, I might just put the whole thing in. Ooh. That's usually, I feel like that's what my mom does, is put the whole thing in. So I'm gonna, that's like 3/4 of the can, or maybe like a little less than half. I'm just gonna add this in and then see if it needs more. I'm probably gonna end up adding the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because also it's gonna be cooking for an hour, so you want the sauce is gonna cook down a little bit. Also, you want it, all the meat and everything, to be like fully submerged in the sauce. So here we are. I'm just combining everything. I'm gonna go ahead and raise the heat back up to high because we are gonna bring it to a boil. Be careful though with whatever you're wearing, because once it starts boiling, the sauce might start splattering. Okay, so this is looking really good. I had no idea that my mom's recipe was literally this simple. I thought it was like, I don't know, because everything she makes just tastes so good. I had no idea. And Mom, I'm honestly surprised that you use Italian seasoning because you're always all about the homemade. So I don't know why it surprises me that you would just use Italian seasoning, but it did a little bit. But I'm glad to know because this is super easy to make. All right, so we're gonna let this, it's like basically boiling. We're gonna give it like, I don't know, 10 more seconds before it starts going crazy. All right, and I think it's like about to go crazy, so I'm gonna lower the heat down, and then I'm gonna grab, what am I grabbing? A lid. We're gonna cover it, and now we are going to simmer this for a whole hour, and that's when all the flavors are gonna really come together. Hey! My goodness! I don't know what is in here that's causing this to... All right, let's see. Or maybe it's just the cabinet doesn't close all the way. It's like uneven. There we go. I'm literally just perching the camera on these little things. Oh no! And we're still here. Okay, so the sauce is behind me simmering. So that's gonna do that for an hour. So and then probably when it has about 15 minutes or so left, that's when I'm gonna start boiling the water. Or maybe, I don't know, because the noodles have to cook for usually like 11 minutes. And water usually takes like 10 minutes to boil. So, especially a big pot. So we're probably, let's say when there's like 25 minutes left on the clock, I'm gonna start boiling the water so that the noodles are ready by the time the meat sauce is ready. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get to cooking. Cleaning. We're already cooking. And yeah, so I figured during these, since I hadn't filmed an episode since I moved to New York, except for my one California special when I was reunited with my family and camera guy, I figured, or I hadn't filmed an episode, I've been so busy, so this quarantine time is kind of like a blessing in disguise for all of us to like chill out and maybe do things that we wish that we had time to do. So also, we're all a lot of us are going to be bored at home and need entertainment. So hopefully this brings some entertainment and teaches you a new recipe that you can try. And I figured, you know, this is also a good recipe because it makes a lot. So, you know, even if you're by yourself, you'll have leftovers for days, honestly. So it's good. So I already have, I'm going to try to do one episode a week. So I already have, I have 5 episodes already like scheduled, I guess. And they're all ideas from other people. So keep the ideas coming and I will keep making what you want me to make, but I'm going to keep the next episodes a surprise because I don't want to tell you what I have under my sleeve. And then wash your hands. We are almost out of soap, so hopefully whenever I go to the store next time or soap, there is some. I know, at least I will say in New York, people have not been like so crazy as some of the stuff that you see on the news. Like I feel like everyone's kind of doing their part to not be so selfish because, you know, we're all in this together. Okay, so all clean. is a little window. If you guys want to see, this is
Whoa.
the view outside my kitchen. It's very, very, I don't know what the word is, very vibrant. We have a fire escape. And here you can see everything is sizzling. 52 minutes left, so we're gonna check back in 27 minutes. And I promise normally I do move things out of the way to clean underneath them because I know that is proper sanitation, but I can't really do that when I have a camera in the other hand. But just wanted to let you know that I know that in case you are thinking that currently. Okay, so while the sauce is simmering, I thought we could have some real talk also because I want to, I don't know, at least have like some kind of powwow every episode. So one of the things, well, I realized that like a lot of people are using this time, I feel like, to, you know, it's probably the most time that we've had at home in a very long time. So we're probably realizing different things that, you know, we want to do and like what's your purpose and all these things, or you're just enjoying watching Netflix or playing Animal Crossing because I guess the new game just came out. But you know, whatever you're using that time for, it's your time. So one of the things that I realized that I needed to do is the fact that my walls are just so bland and there's nothing on them, and I didn't even realize that I hadn't done anything since I moved in back in October until recently. So that is why I'm sitting on the floor currently with my girl Audrey, because this eventually is going to be up there or somewhere, you know, around. So I'm sitting down here, and I decided that in each episode I want to share a quote or a Bible verse or something that is just like resonating with me this week. So I'm gonna share with you guys. Hold on, this is kind of hard. All right, so I like to write down verses and also just things that are, you know, speaking to me. So this verse this week that I'm going to share with you guys is from Jeremiah 29 verse 13. And actually this was the first time that I had ever read this verse until this week, and it just seems really fitting, and also I can just really relate to this. And it just says, "If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me." And I think that's good because it just makes me think about my relationship with God, and like, I don't know, whatever, if you're seeking God, you will find him. If you're seeking purpose, you will find it. But the key word here is wholeheartedly, because a lot of times we're like, oh, like kind of just walking around and we don't really know what we're doing and we're not really seeking. So it's almost like the same thing as seek and you shall find. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and my camera is on 10%, so I'm gonna plug it in, and then hopefully the sauce will be ready in just a few minutes. 12 hours later. So as you can see, I did not come back at 25 minutes, but that's okay because now the sauce is like gonna be extra simmered and extra tasty. Oh wow, yeah, the sauce is like really cooking down. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and turn off the heat, but it looks really good. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. But before I do that, I think I should probably get the water a-boiling. So I'm gonna get out a pot and fill up the pot with some water. Here we go. We're filling it up. And we're gonna fill it up like halfway or enough to get all the noodles in there, because you know sometimes I struggle with noodles, as you have seen in past episodes, making sure there's enough water. So we're gonna fill up the pot with water and then bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna cook the noodles, and then everything's gonna be ready to serve, and I can't wait for you guys to see and for me to taste and my roommates to taste the final product. What am I doing? Okay. Now I'm gonna have to try to warm up this one. There we go, not bad at all. And then, let's see. I like to add just a little bit of salt into the water before it boils, and then I'm just going to take this same lid that I was using here. I'm just going to stick it on here because it's the same size. So we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we are going to, I'm going to stir the sauce up. I'm trying to get a good angle here. There we go. Stir the sauce up. It's definitely ready. Definitely make sure you use the whole jar of sauce, because if I put less, it would not be enough. So, but this looks perfect. So I'm actually gonna try the sauce. Let me let it cool down a little bit. Try it before I put it over the noodles. It's really hot. It's really hot, but it's really good. And it tastes just like my mama's, so that's good to know. Maybe not quite as good as hers, but it's good. So yeah, so we're gonna wait for the water to boil, and then we're gonna serve it over the noodles and with some Parmesan cheese, and it's gonna be delish. Okay, and I'm gonna introduce you to our taste testers tonight.
Hey.
Hello. This
How's it
is
going?
Casey, my roommate, and this is Ashley, our other roommate for the week, and they've been posted up in this exact location for about 48 hours now because the new Animal Crossing game is out.
So good.
And the characters are really cute. Like, look how cute he is.
Look
how cute. 12 hours later. Okay, so I have decided that the sauce probably, honestly, needs, I'm gonna add a little bit of water to it just so that it becomes a little bit more saucy. And I think I've seen my mom do this before. I'm pretty sure it's fine. Like, it makes it a little bit more saucy. So I'm adding it, and then I put the heat back on just on low so that it simmers at the same time. And this is just gonna make it more like a saucy consistency. So I think, you know, add a tablespoon at a time if you think that you need, if it's too thick and it's not saucy enough. So I'm gonna say saucy one more time. Saucy. So yeah, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, and I'm gonna add water about a tablespoon or two at a time, just if it needs it, and then if not, leave it as is. It just depends on maybe how long it's been cooking or how much sauce that you put in there to begin with. So the water now also is simmering, so it's just about coming, it's just about coming to a boil, actually. So let's see, it looks like it's boiling just about. So now it's time to add the pasta.
And I just remember growing up, I would always sit by the pot waiting for the water to boil when my mom was making pasta. And I'd be like, oh, it's boiling now, it's boiling now. Can I put the noodles in? And she's like, no, it's not boiling. Those bubbles are not big enough. So, and I just always remember always trying to, you know, put the pasta in before it's boiling. So make sure you wait till the pasta is boiling all the way, which it is boiling now.
It is. So, okay. It is boiling, so we're gonna stick the noodles in now. And I'm just gonna put the whole box, because we're gonna have leftovers for sure. And this goes into recycling under the sink. And then I'm gonna take this nifty pasta spatula, and you know, this is where I always have the struggle, is getting the spaghetti. This is the only part of cooking spaghetti that's annoying, is getting all of the spaghetti noodles submerged into the water. So, and it's normal, I think the heat is all the way up, but it's normal sometimes when you first put the noodles in for the water to kind of stop boiling. But just, if it is lowered a little bit, just raise the heat back up, and once the temperature adjusts, it will start boiling again. So, and also we're stirring it around right now, so that's why it might not. But hey, look at that. That was much more smooth, much smoother than the last time. Okay, so now I am going to put the timer up to, I always cook my pasta for 11 minutes, because they say 10 minutes for al dente, and then I usually give it 1 minute longer. So we'll cook that for 11 minutes. Water is boiling again, and I'm probably going to add just maybe 1 or 2 more tablespoons of water to the sauce again, and things will be ready to go. Okay, and now while I'm waiting, we've got 9 minutes left on the pasta. Gonna get this ready. This goes in the sink to strain the pasta. I'm gonna get 3 bowls. 3 bowls. We'll set those out. And we also need to stop grabbing the camera like that. Also, what am I looking for? Parmesan cheese, because that is gonna go over the top of the noodles. So we'll do noodles, sauce, Parmesan, and then we'll be ready to eat. 5 more minutes. Also, I forgot to mention that you should stir the noodles. I should have probably stirred them sooner, because I forgot, but you should stir the noodles at least once or twice while they're boiling. Ooh, so they don't all stick together
and turn into one big clump.
So yeah, this is better. They are just about ready. We've got 2 minutes left on the clock. 2 minutes till game time. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. So I've got, turning off the heat, got my little rags, and we are pouring this into the sink, into the strainer, the colander. I just love the smell of noodles right when they're first cooked. So now we shake it out. You get a nice little steam bath, and noodles are ready. It's still dripping a little bit. Get all the water out, and then return it back to the pan. Ooh, and I've got pasta flying, but it's all ready. And then take another, again, you're gonna add a little bit of olive oil or whatever kind of oil that you have. So I've got avocado, and that's just so that the noodles don't stick together. I'm just gonna put the rest of, guess I have to buy more oil now. So put the rest of that in there, and then stir it all together. So just combine all that, and that's really, you just don't want the noodles all sticking together. So you can use butter also if you don't want to use olive oil or avocado oil or whatever oil. Just use something so that they don't all stick together. And now be a little difficult to do with one hand, but I'm going to just show you how it's prepared. We're going to do a scoop of pasta. But maybe a little bit more. Maybe 2 scoops. This is a little difficult with one hand. Okay, I'm going to turn off the heat here. And then I'm going to take a ladle and I'm going to put a scoop of the sauce over top. I would probably be able to make this a prettier presentation if I had more than one hand, but over the top. And then we take the Parmesan cheese, and you can use any kind. Honestly, my favorite is the kind that's like freshly shaven, but this is all that I had at home for now, and it's just as good. I mean, it still tastes good. So sprinkle that over the top, and voila! So I'm just gonna finish plating these up, and then, or bowling these up, and then we will get to tasting. It is time to try. Yeah, let's get the lights going. This is the final project.
Love the Parmesan on top.
I had 2 hands to that one. That's why it looks a little bit better. But yes. All right, so I'm just filming the reactions now.
Oh man, I'm so bad at eating on camera.
This is really good.
Good?
Certified Italian approved.
Hell yes.
Oh, really good.
For your first
Well-
time cooking meat again, you did good.
And there you have it, folks. Okay, so I've got my bowl here, and I'm going to show you all the way that I think they do it in Italy. At least in France, they do it like this, where you take the pasta, and usually you would have a special spoon for this, but I have a teaspoon, and you twist it around in the spoon, and usually it would stick better, and then you take a bite. How do you say delicious in Italian?
I don't know.
Buongiorno. It's delicious. Delizio. Well, thank you for joining me, guys, and for watching another episode of Gaga's Kitchen. I will be trying to release 1 episode a week, so keep sending your ideas in and I'll keep making them. And I hope that you enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time.